Hi everybody, my name's Alan. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. For all of us watching this show and all of us really inhabiting this incredible planet Earth, so much goes on in our lives, and yet there is an experience of love that we all want. For people who've been watching the show recently, you know that we did this CD called Leslie, Bridging Heaven and Earth, that I worked on with a friend of mine, Leslie, and we put out these songs, and the lead song is We Are All the Same Love, and then there's a song in there, Love is the Question, Life is a Journey, Love is the Answer to All We are Learning. And then we were thinking of writing some more songs. We had this inspiration, and we were talking about what we wanted to say, what creativity did we want to come out of us, and what message did we want to bring forth to ourselves and to everyone else. And we were talking about it, and what really came out is what people really want. And the opening line is, all he really needed was to feel love and to share it. All he really wanted came from the outside in. So so much of our lives is we think that something outside of ourselves is going to bring us that joy, that love, but really it's that all we want to do is to feel love and to share it. And that's really, we don't want to be Buddhists, we don't want to be Hindus, we don't want to be rich, we don't want to be married, we don't want to be famous. We just want to feel love and share it. And tonight, again, we have guests with us whose lives are dedicated through music, through word, through healings, to bring that truth, to bring that vibration, really, because it's a vibration of that love, to bring that into people's lives. We have Jaya Sarada with us, who's a spiritual teacher. She's a healer. She's the author of 2 extraordinary new books, Trust in Yourself and Path of Return. She's the founder of the Grace Foundation, and just an extraordinary being whose life is dedicated to having that experience, to feeling love and sharing it. And then we have with us Mela, who's a magnificent singer-songwriter who uses her music and her words to once again bring forth that vibration, for her to feel the love, for her to share the love, and for that just to spread. And at some point we have to come into the recognition, as you saw in the opening, of that oneness, that connection between us all, that all the differences and the separations that we think exist between us are all part of the illusion and are no deeper than that I'm wearing a brown coat today and a black coat next week. And is that who I am? Or a white shirt? Usually I wear dark shirts, but both of the goddesses on tonight's show are wearing dark, so I wore white. And she's got a new CD out, Mela does, Out the Door. And part of what she wants to do is that 10% of the proceeds from that CD and from all the concerts she does around the country go to this magnificent nonprofit organization, Free the Children. They have a special school building fund that this is run by children, and children do it to help in schools and to really bring that love into every aspect of our lives and their lives. And Mela was just won an award as one of the best LA women in music for the year 2000. We're in 2001 now, but I guess the awards just came out. So we're just honored to have Jaya and Mela with us tonight, and we're honored to have you with us, because I know the only reason you watch this show is to let that vibration overtake you again and to just multiply it out. And we're getting on in more and more cities, and we just found out this week that we're on in the Monterey area, Pebble Beach, 8 times a week. They love the show that much. It was like somebody said to me, that must be overkill after a couple of weeks. They go, get that guy off with the glasses, he's lunatic. But it's just happening all over the country, and just people are really turning on to it. And it's all your love and inspiration that does it. So please, as we normally do at this time, join me in a short meditation, and then we'll have Mela do a set, and then Jay is going to be with us on the set. So please join me in a short meditation. If you don't know how to do one, just relax, settle in, and for the next 57, 58 minutes, love is available. So please join me. Okay, Mela is going to sing her first set. She's going to do 2 songs, Madam Chow and Out the Door. Both of them were written and they will be performed by Mela. They're from her new CD, Out the Door, and 10% of the proceeds go to the Free the Children school building campaign. So both these songs are on the CD. So, Mela?
Thank you, Alan. This is called Madam Chow. I was feeling low when I made myself go downtown to see the Madam Chow. I needed answers, someone I could trust, for I felt my faith was drying up, and I was a desperate girl, and let me tell you, after all of the pain my tired heart had been through. Oh, Madam Chow, oh, Madam Chow, oh, Madam Chow, take my hand now. I walked alone down her dark alleyway till I heard a voice say, come in, my dear. With one sweep of her ancient hand she had me sit down, and she poured me a cup of ginger tea. I can see you're unhappy, but let me help you. It is written in your hand here what you must do. Oh, Madam Chow, oh, Madam Chow, oh, Madam Chow, take my hand now. La, 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 la. I can see here a love's been broken, and you are tempted to close down your heart. Remove yourself from men's affairs and put out the fires that make love start. But broken hearts like bones are stronger when they mend. Take my advice, my dear, keep it open. Said Madam Chow, said Madam Chow, said Madam Chow, go home now. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. And the second song is the title track from my CD, Out the Door. And this is about a problem I think a lot of people have talked to me about, and it's about running away from something that you really want, love, out of fear of being hurt. And this is called Out the Door. Make your mouth make us smile. Put a spark in your eyes. Say you love him. Say you'll stay, but be a million miles away. This will mostly happen when he says his heart is yours. How could he know this is the way to make you go? This will only happen when the prize is in your hand. Step out of the spotlight and darken down your eyes. But didn't I hear you say that it was love you're waiting for? Didn't I hear you say that it was love you're waiting for? Then why you always 1 foot out the door? Make your life make believe. Say it's heaven when it feels like hell. But keep on running, running fast. Base your love life on the past. And this will only happen when he says his heart is yours. How could he know this is the way to make you go? This will only happen when the prize is in your hand. You step out of the spotlight and darken down your eyes. But didn't I hear you say that it was love you're waiting for? Yeah. Didn't I hear you say that it was love you're waiting for? Then why you always 1 foot out the door? Out the door, out the door, na na, out the door.
Wow, that was wonderful. Thank you, Mela. That was great. So we're on the set with Jaya. Welcome, Jaya.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, when in your life did you know that you just had to be truth, know truth, share truth?
I think all my life I had an instinct to turn within and meet my true nature, find out who I am. I remember all through childhood having questions and inquiry.
And your family, as opposed to other families, were really involved in the spiritual path and that quest too, right?
Yes, I was very fortunate to have a strong foundation.
So, and you did a lot of traveling, right? I mean, to go to ashrams and to meet with different gurus. And why don't you tell people?
I think around, I think it was around in my early 20s I went to India, maybe 20, 21, and I then started going frequently, up to 12 times at this point.
Really? You've been to India 12 times?
Yes, it's been very nice.
All to the same ashram? Or
actually, I do sort of I travel throughout the different ashrams and stay in various places. It's kind of been a pilgrimage. I've gone to Pondicherry and I've gone up to Rishikesh, and I've recently been in Kerala in an ashram down there, and Bangalore, and seen Sai Baba many times. Always see him whenever I go to India. And Madras, there's lots of teachings there as well.
And what do you feel that you get when you go there?
Well, I would say in the early part of my life, it was about sort of, when you're younger, you're discovering who you are, and it sort of gave me some tools to understand myself as a human being. Now I actually go for more personal retreat. It's a place to go and retreat from society, get away from all the media and the input and the conditioning of society. So I just go for really, I would just say, a retreat away from the world, basically.
And you started a foundation, the Grace Foundation, right?
Yes, I did.
And one of the things you'd like to do as part of that is take children who wouldn't normally get to have those kind of retreats to India and those kind of retreats.
Yes, I actually had some miracles around taking my daughter and the other younger people. I've had maybe taken 2 other younger people to India, where they were, in their 17, 16-year-old age group, where they're in turmoil, and their life changes when they see a different type of world and a culture, and that, life isn't so easy in a real way over there, where you see the poverty, and it just actually leads you to look inside more. It's very helpful to take teenagers, so that would be a goal for Grace Foundation, is to take young people to India on spiritual trips.
So we got 3 people on the set, and we got 3 foundations. Really, nowadays, it's really something.
Yes.
No wonder it takes so long to apply for this stuff and get it. So, what prompted you to write this book, Trust in Yourself? What was that? How did that manifest through you?
I would say that I started writing because I suddenly understood what all the people are talking about, the true nature and consciousness.
And when did that happen?
That was about 2.5 years ago. I think what happened is I just had a passion for letting it all come out and putting it into a book. And that was through going to maybe 5 years of satsangs and attending them, and really feeling that I can maybe have understood something.
Where did you attend these satsangs?
Up in the Seattle area.
And the satsangs was there a special teaching that was available?
Well, it's also...
Satsang means company of the truth in Hindi, right?
Yeah, and I'd just like to clarify that. I think that I studied on my own through the trips to India. I studied Ramana Maharshi, and I've studied all the teachings just through my... and because I was raised in Theosophy, I've always studied quite a bit. I'm pretty intense. So when I went to the satsang, the person that was speaking, who was a dear friend at this point, his words just sort of went through, it's at the right time, at the right place, and the book just flowed through. And so that's my first attempt at writing, and I'll see what happens.
It's very beautiful now. And it's subtitled Messages from the Divine, right?
Yes. And I feel that I personally don't take credit for what has come through, so
how about
it's
the blame?
Like a credit blame. It's like something has just came through me, and I'm very grateful to that truth.
And so, what messages? We have an international audience of millions now. So, what messages would you like from the divine? Would you like to share with everybody?
Well, I would just like to say that your essential nature is always the background of your life, and in a sense, it's the silent aspect of yourself. And it's also very much related to nature. So you can also see your essential nature in trees and in the ocean and the wind and mountains, and it's like there's a sense of stillness you see in nature. And I think that that's a pointer to turning within and finding that within ourselves.
And yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, that's all right. Go.
And So that's like the main message, that we are that, we can experience that. Do you give like tools to help people do that, or to guide them towards the tools?
I would say this particular book is just about sort of, you're not your mind, you're not your emotions. It kind of takes you through I would say a letting go process of letting go concepts or misidentification, and into what I have felt that we truly are, and we're pure grace as human beings. And we have all the beauty and all the love and all the ingredients of divinity. And so the book is a journey into who you truly are. The new book that I'm writing is called The Path of Return, and that's much more geared towards specific things to learn about on the path of return to discovering who you truly are. And so that makes sense.
And so what do you think? You mentioned that we have concepts that prevent us from experiencing that. What are the two or three, greatest concepts that prevent human beings from knowing their true nature, knowing their connectedness, knowing their oneness, their love?
Well, generally concepts come from thought. And I think that thought is definitely, it's given to us by nature for a reason, and that is for us to use it in practical ways. But they were not our thoughts. And I think thought often we misidentify with the thought that's coming in our mind at the moment. Then we trigger emotions, and suddenly that sort of appears to create a separate sense of self. The separate sense of self is what I would call becomes the veil or the block to you experiencing, or to us experiencing who we truly are. And that can be kind of a pattern that goes on for a while until you, in a sense, stop the belief in the separation that occurs.
And how do you go about doing that?
Well, according to what I feel like I've received is basically, I think the quiet, the turning within to some sort of stillness is essential, and also communing with a sense of nature. I would say sit with trees, sit with the water, sit with the lake, and just allow yourself to resonate with something that's eternal. Because our mind is always wanting to gear itself to temporary satisfaction, either pleasure or pain. And it's just a habit of the mind. So I would say find ways to turn within to meet something eternal.
Do you teach any meditation? I mean, throughout history, in most spiritual quests or paths, there's some form of reaching the silence, reaching the quiet.
I would say that in the new book and the new work, that I talk about meditation as being a tool to the silence, but it is so important to find out who the meditator is. I mean, this is kind of I'm sure many people think this, but it's essential to understand your true nature, so then the meditation becomes a communion with your true self rather than a separate person sitting there attaining meditation. So I do try to help others through just turning within and meeting an essence, and it's an essence of the unknown. Your true nature is not found in memory or in your photographs or your images or the images that others have of you. So it's really meeting something quite unknown.
And that's the spiritual path, in essence, to come from darkness to light, or illusion to illusion.
Lead me from darkness to light, yes.
And that's what is coming through in your books, is that recognition and that opening. I know you've done a lot of work with chakras and people. Why don't you describe what the chakras are? And
yes. In the new book, The Path of Return, is actually it's called the Light of Power Shakti, which is the inner light that connects us with our divine source. So, and that inner light actually connects all the chakras, and through our sort of, I would say, growth and transformation process, we widen what I call the channel of light. And we widen this channel.
And the chakras, for people who are not familiar with them, are the energy centers of the body moving.
We've got the wheels of light. Chakra means will. And you've got 7 in the body and 21 minor all throughout the system. In fact, the whole entire body is full of a lot more chakras than what we know of. But the 7 are the major ones. Excuse me, yes. And we've got there's the root, and then he's going up to the next one, which is the chakra, the navel chakra. It's actually called sweetness. That's the name of that chakra, meaning it's a place where we're in touch with the sweetness of life. The root is the foundation or the source of our security or trust. Moving up to the solar plexus is where we receive our inner sense of knowing and power, our personal will, our sense of inner strength. Now we go into the heart, and my book actually has a lot about the heart initiation, where the heart actually opens, and it opens to its fullness as we allow ourselves to experience a surrender in our life. The heart has 12 petals, and the reason why I'm going to say that is we're going up now, and I'll explain. The heart has also another chakra in the head. We're now into the third eye, which is the opening of perception, the opening of your inner vision, your inner seeing, your ability to see clearly. And as the camera moves up to, or moves down, if it would please, to the, maybe difficult, the crown chakra is not showing there. But the crown chakra is 1,000 petals of the unfoldment of all our entire life's history as far as the continuity of our consciousness, meaning that however many lifetimes we've had, whatever we've ever experienced is located in the crown chakra and is located on one of the petals. The heart chakra, very interesting, is inside the crown chakra. So that points to union of heart and mind. And it's where the two become one. And your show is about oneness and lack of separation. And it's when the heart and the mind are actually unified energetically. And that's through opening up this channel through the heart, and it goes up through the, I would say the throat. Sorry, I'm getting, and all the way up the back, and opens up another channel. It's a mystery channel called the altar major in the back. So you create one light going from here, and you become actually one channel, unifying love and mind. Okay.
And so that's the experience that people want to feel love and share it. And when they're in that experience where everything is one, where the heart and mind, I mean, there's no separation between the two. That's when the experience of truth or love really.
In the wisdom center, the third eye and the crown center offer the avenues of discernment and right way of thinking and clarity and clear perception. And the heart is the source of love and compassion. But without the discernment, the heart is not quite fully opened. And without the love, the discernment isn't quite fully functioning. So there's just a little disharmony or out of balance. It's a really important relationship between the two.
Okay, maybe what we'll do is have Mela's second set, and then we'll come back and talk about how to harmonize these things.
All right.
So this is Mela's second set. She's going to do 2 songs again, Wide Open Blue, and this was written and performed by Mela, and then Naive Melody, which was written by the Talking Heads, and Mela is going to perform it. And I just also wanted to say that one of the songs from the CD, Out the Door, was placed on a film just recently, this film Elixir, and the song is I can't write you a love song. So that's going to be on a new movie coming out, and when you hear it, you'll know. And you saw Mela first on Bridging Heaven and Earth. So, Mela.
Yeah. Beautiful sentiments, Jaya. Well, this song idea I got from my son when we were out at the lake and he was skipping stones. He was teaching me to skip stones, incidentally. And he put his arms up to the sky and he said, "You think I could just fly?" And I said, "Well, you never know till you try." So this is about believing in your dreams. You throw a stone, you skip it out over the surface of the lake. The water ripples and I say, "Dive, baby, dive, the water's fine. There's things to see when you're inside. Open, wide open blue, yeah. Wide open blue.
lift your arms into the sky. You laugh and say you're gonna fly. I say you never know until you try. Fly, baby, fly into the sky. The lights reflecting from your eyes into the wide, the open, wide open blue. Wide open blue. You hold a dream within your hand. It sparkles like a secret plan. The world is waiting, show 'em how you can. Shine, baby, shine to your light. Life is just a fearless flight into the wide, the open, wide open blue. Wide open blue. Wide open blue.
And this next song, I did not write. It is the song that I've loved for years, and all of my friends and family know this because I've sung it for them. And because so many of you are at home and it's Betty Bye time, I want you to think of this as my lullaby to you, to all my friends and family, and to all of the people watching Bridging Heaven and Earth.
Pick me up and turn me around. I come home, born with a weak heart. Guess I must be having fun. But the less we say about it, the better. Make it up as we go along. Feet on the ground, head in the clouds, I'm okay, I know nothing's wrong. Got plenty of time, oh yeah. You got a light in your eye, yeah. And you're standing here beside me. I love the passing of time. Never for money, always for love. Cover up and say goodnight. Say goodnight. But I guess I'm already there. I come home, you lifted up your wings. I guess this must be the place. 'Cause I can't tell one from another, but I find you or you find me. There was a time before we were born, if someone asks, this is where I'll be. We're drifting and out, and oh yeah, singing to my mind. And out of all those kinds of people, you got a face with same space for a minute or two, where you love me until my heart stops, where you love me until I'm dead. You got eyes that light up, eyes that look through, cover up the blank spot, hit me on the head, say goodnight, say goodnight, say goodnight. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Mela. That was beautiful. But let me, I know she said that this is a lullaby. I'm supposed to go to sleep now, but try to hold out for another 20 more minutes or so. I think we have some more really beautiful things here. Okay, so why don't you talk about, like, how do we align everything? How do we harmonize? I mean, with all the stresses of a human life and all the, you know, growing up in the ways of separation and people saying you're different than me and I'm different than you because of color and height and religion and sexual preference. How do we go through that minefield to come into that connection of love?
Well, I would say, number 4, sort of retrace your steps and go back to the origin of your being. In a sense, find your deep core, which is, and this is where the chakras actually come into play. If you're looking at it energetically with chakras, you would retrace your steps and go back and reconnect with a sense of trust and security in the root center, and trusting in your life that this is by a divine appointment, so to speak, and that you're here for a reason. In a sense, then I would say you can transform the old programming by going back inside and looking at yourself in a different way. And then through traditionally our navel chakra would be a sexual energy. Well, that transformed comes out into great beauty and expression when the consciousness is raised. So you could transform sort of sexual gratification and move it into a higher level of expression. And each part of us that we are stuck in can be transformed to the higher part. So there's the chakras of the throat, third eye, and crown are quite amazing. Oh, and there they are again. So, and if you work with your energy as being actually a channel of this divine light, you can start to recreate a relationship with the divine source, or with, I would say just the source of life, the source that creates the trees and the flowers and the oceans.
And you.
And yeah. And I actually have this diagram here to the left, I don't know if that's possible.
Well, we could probably get it at some point, the soul star.
Yeah, it's actually...
Well, why don't you start describing it, and then,
right.
Sooner or later we'll get there with the camera, I suspect.
It's okay. If a soul star is actually what we really are in our true nature, is we are stars, and that comes through the transformation or the changing, allowing ourselves to change and move and ascend upwards to who we really are, which is a soul star. And that's the configuration of the root, navel, and solar plexus forming the triangle, along with the heart and the throat and the third eye, creating one star of unity where all the energies are working in harmony. And I would say just for the alignment of your source or your true nature. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, so people are watching the show, and I mean, other than watching the show next week, but or reading your book or something like that, what would you suggest they wake up tomorrow, and what would be a good way for them to proceed?
I did teach some things in my books, some meditations and some visualizations on this, but I would say to reaffirm that your sense of trust and security is not of this physical world. It's not based on whether you have a lot of money or you don't, or your conditioning or your status, and to sort of start from that and change that programming. And again,
just as like an intention, as a mental process?
Because all healing comes from the higher mental. The truth actually comes through a decision. I wish I had my beautiful saying I use, but the saying by Goti, that when you think something, you can move mountains. So it's actually a decision that you make from, I would say, your higher self or your soul level to change the energies that are stuck in conditioning and clear them and free them from the past and move them upwards, allow them to move upwards. And then you truly are working in, I would say, an eternal consciousness. It's not, it's a change, it's a transformation. It's not just jumping into the idea of that. And so you do that with the root center or with the consciousness of security and trust, realizing that comes from your eternal source. You transform your sexual energy into your higher creative energy, and your sense of personal power transforms to working with divine will instead of working with, I'm going to do this my way all the time, working with, in a sense, investigating what is the highest good for your life when you're looking at how you can transform your personal will to your divine will. You have an opportunity to live life in the highest way possible.
And
that makes sense?
Yeah, and so people would like have that intention, you would say,
Yeah.
and that intention would bring momentum and bring experience, and then the experience would bring more intention, and it would be like an ongoing cycle.
It's a real, I would say it's a transfiguration process. It's like I said, we're going up, let's say we go back up into the heart. The heart is your sort of main station throughout for all your entire system. So your heart actually has to feel the love of what the show is about, the love of oneness, the love of God, in order to attempt to make big changes in your system. And so from that foundation of the heart saying, oh, I don't want to suffer anymore, I want to help the suffering world, I would like to open my heart, and I'd like to, for that, it's a matter of you opening up and experiencing a sense of dying on the cross that Christ did. You let go and you open up to something greater than yourself.
So in other words, like not in the traditional Christian sense necessarily, but to be born again, being born again into a consciousness of openness, a consciousness of harmony.
It's like the heart has to break open, and it breaks open from disengaging from identification of the past and from all of our roles and conditions and relationships that we play. And it breaks open and sense feels sad that that we missed our true nature from these veils that we've created. And it's a wonderful letting go process, I would say.
So in a way, it's like a beautiful broken heart. Not a broken heart where there's suffering, but a broken heart where the tears are of joy, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I would say. The heart breaks open rather than...
just breaks.
Yeah, just breaks. It's the heart...
Stuck with a double-hearted helix.
And the heart actually, because it's got the 12-petal lotus in it, I was trying to explain before, that same exact 12-petal lotus is duplicated in the head chakra. So it's so interesting to consider that this heart has... It's the main station, it opens up, and then as it opens up the brain or the mind into this flowering.
Now we're separating it out. I mean, we're not talking about the physical heart, and we're not even talking about something necessarily in this area. We're talking about an openness of...
I would say that if you look at it in terms of the physical energy or the etheric energy, those people that experience heart problems are those that have not been able to, let's say, break past the broken heart. Their heart breaks on a personal level. So if you're breaking...
Just from feeling that separation in one form, separation from yourself, separation from the oneness, separation from the connectedness.
Yeah, so the heart has, then if it's affected on a physical level. So it's all related. The physical is related to the spiritual and the etheric, and then the mental body, and then your mental body is related to your spiritual body, your causal body.
The hip bone's connected to the spiritual
and it continues on out there into one, which we don't have a picture, but your energy being is just infinite and keeps reaching and needing and wanting to expand. That's its nature, is expansion, not contraction. And we've been on a sort of a road of contraction in our human condition. And we're actually, I think, being asked by nature and by life and by everything that's showing us where we are now, that it's expansion that's required.
And in
for
that
healing.
process, I got an email today from
Yes.
somebody who said that he's been experiencing a lot of turbulence in his life. And I
Yeah.
think that as we're going through that process, the story is, 2012 is when, a lot of the culmination of this particular cycle is going to be in place. That there's going to be, a certain level of turbulence. Now, people think of it as earthquakes and things, but I think it's more internal. Do you have a take on that?
I think that the turbulence is right now inside. It's the crisis is here and now. And I wouldn't take advantage very much of time right now. I wouldn't think of it as a time problem. It's a problem based on our true nature is actually, I would say, the essence of all of our natures, crying or yearning to become free of our conditioning and the veils we've put on it. And whether it happens, if it eventually results in some earth changes before, it's like the crisis is now, the time is now to make these discoveries, these realizations.
Each of us individually, internally.
Yes, which will then help the consciousness and the suffering of the world. Because if we can get beyond our personal suffering at any point, if there's any chance, we may stand a chance to help some real suffering issues, like children that are in trouble, or starving people on the street. But the society's so self-indulgent that we're actually blinded to what's in front of us. And I propose that we end the personal suffering now by, again, opening up, aligning, recreating a mission statement for ourselves and a purpose, and getting beyond this personal stuff so we can maybe help some of the real issues of the world.
And that's basically what your books are about, is to expand
Yes.
into the...
Yeah, I would say to definitely move past our condition, our personal condition that we're all in.
And how have people been receiving this message? I mean, it seems to me, we were talking earlier today that, 25 times a year people come in from all over the world, and there is that momentum of love, and it really is starting to spread. So what has your experience been with the book?
It's actually, trust in yourself is sort of like a silent, it's seeping around very silently through word of mouth. It was a self-published book, so I don't do any advertising, and I teach my classes. So I would say more and more people are getting very excited about it as they read it and they call me. I think the idea of really discovering who you truly are, you're finding out who you are.
That hunger is really...
it's essential, and there's so many processes out there. You can do this process or that process, and this is just a really simple, I would say simple solution to just resting and relaxing and breathing and finding some sort of inner peace with who you truly are.
And you find people are getting those kind of results who are reading the book and taking your
Yes.
workshops and things like that.
Most people that have made some connection with me or through the book or whatever have immediate results, because I feel like we all already are that, and it's almost like I'm sitting with you, I can totally feel your true nature here, and you hope you feel mine. So it's a matter of just reflecting that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's, a teacher, nobody's doing anything. We're just giving each other the opportunity to see it, and we're reflecting it. So
Now,
that's
you
what I do.
have gone to a lot of ashrams where there are like gurus or teachers. How do you feel about that now?
I would say growing up in those processes, I just can't imagine doing anything else. But on the other hand, I think we can bring these ashrams and these ideas of finding out who we are in our schools. I mean, so much can be done with education and with the way we live. If we could turn what we know inside now and create a society that teaches children these things and that allows children to grow up in a way where they're respected and where they're allowed to have some inner freedom and really find out who they are. Very essential to... And what was the question? Could you say the question again? I think I missed the... I'm off. I forgot the question.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, okay. But I would just say that the work needs to be done, and it's urgent, and to start the work in society and the work with the healing of the planet. And I look at it this way: either we're sort of in the circle of suffering, or we're in the soup, or we're out in the circle and we're holding hands in the light. And those of us that choose to hold hands in the light and assist and be in love and care and really be good human beings, we've stepped out of the problem. And that's the first step, is let's just step out of the problem.
Well, you know, we talk a lot about on the show that, you know, basically what the show is about is putting out a vibrational love. I mean, this is the 114th show, and we've had, you know, all kinds of teachers and healers and psychics and musicians and artists, and all with different messages, you know, all different, as we describe it, as spokes on the wheel. But really it's just sending out that passion for truth, that vibrational love. And then that's, you know, and then you, all of a sudden the Berlin Wall falls, and you don't know how.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just that 100th monkey theory or whatever. And, you know, I know that that's what your work is about, is just to get that.
It's a quantum, I would say a very quantum theory work, because if, in a sense that I believe that processing just continues on the identification with the sufferer, or the identification with separation, or somebody who needs to really relive the past. Now that's okay for those that need to do that, and I really respect and appreciate that. But those that are ready to stop the processing can turn inside and really have a rebirth, like you said, with their own divine energy. And it's accessible. It's accessible through opening and breathing, allowing and shifting your identification.
So you think it's certainly the first step would be is interesting, because a lot of the ways I see it is like there's love in front of you, and that's what gurus play, or books like this, or, you know, people who hold workshops, that experience of love, and then the pain of identification with the finite, with our limited identities, is like behind us, nipping at us. So we're kind of like, you know, being nipped at from behind and being drawn in by the love in front, and then we kind of, you know, spiral into the light, kind of.
I would say very important to sort of live with prayer in regards to this nipping, not allow the nipping to become a reality, and not allow it to take you away from your silence or from your sense of connection with your being, your true self, because that nipping is the chatteringness of thought and emotions that are actually, most likely, they're stemmed from some past trauma. And it's better, in a sense, because we can go back to that past trauma, but it's much more complete if we just allow this moment to come fully, and the nipping stops, in a sense. And when it comes back up, I don't propose to push it back. I propose to incorporate it, or in a sense, infuse it with the greater part of our being. That's what I want to say. Infuse it with the greater part of you. So.
And that is, and all these things are described in your book, trust in yourself, to really come into that experience of, and we were talking earlier, and it's like, I mean, how would you respond to, the way I look at faith is that you'll get what you need when you need it, so you don't ever have to worry. You know, you'll get everything on every level that you'll need.
I think that it's very important to look at that on the functioning level in the world, that there's the mind that thinks and the mind that creates. And we're talking about something that's always eternal and always sustaining itself, whether or not you have a new car or not, whether or not you get what you want has nothing to do with that desire.
Yeah, wanting is different than needing.
Or needing even. It's
well, I mean, see, I would use need in that highest purpose.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that you'll get what, you know, you never have to worry that you're not, you know, going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You know, so you can be free of, you know,
free
anything
of
like
concern.
That. Yeah.
Very good to be free of concern, I think, and worry. If we can live that way, yes.
Yeah. All right,
okay,
so somebody was making fun of me because I always say the same thing. You know, we're coming to the end of the show again, and it's been an amazing experience for me, and you know, I assume for everybody out there, because Jaya was just sharing her truth and her love and her experience, and so was Mela, and you know, again, in different ways, in different, using different tools, but basically it's that same truth, that same vibration, that same hunger to know that one, to know the connectedness. So if you want any information on Jaya, the workshops, the books, Mela, Alan, 805-687-2053, 805-687-2053. We love you. Good night. Come again. Thank you.